So life for Lopetegui at West Ham doesn't look very straightforward with how he started the Premier League. A defeat to Bournemouth on opening day, with fans questioning the team selection and not playing Paqueta. The West Ham playmaker looks brilliant for Brazil, but after speaking with the manager didn't play the first game. And after speaking to the press, the manager found out about a tweet from Fabrizio saying he might leave. As yes, people, straight into the office of Julian. This is appalling what's happened. Paqueta is moaning. Lucas, I have seen the tweet on social media. If you're fuming with your game time, just come and talk to me. Boss, we talked about Champions League football, and then you don't even play me in the Premier League. That, to me, is absolutely appalling. So is there a reason I didn't? Come on, I've trained in this different position. And yes, Lucas, I understand you have learnt to play as an attacking midfielder. But I just prefer Kudus, and unless someone pays your evaluation, you are going nowhere. So I will speak to clubs if you want me to, but just know I'm not going to accept them very easily. As yes, people, what a start. We've got to go and look at that offer because we saw he was approached. Actually, a lot of players approached. We'll deal with all them later. They're not as important as Paqueta. 37.7 million Bayern Munich, not the best sell. Of course, in real life, it's Pep Guardiola at City who wants the player. And if Bayern Munich are to get him, they have to pay 60 million. Which it doesn't look like they're going to. Fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. He stays with us. Speaking of coming to us, he's a little bit late, but Jean-Claude Todibo, he's finally at West Ham. Let's just pretend his plane was delayed. And although he is a lone player, he fits in this squad very well. We've got Kilman, the left footer, then Jean-Claude on the right-hand side. And after that game against Bournemouth, it cannot go any worse, as we start very tough today with Chelsea in the first game. London derby this, as there is Todibo is finally turned up, and hopefully we turn up. Our last performance disgraceful, and we are at home against Chelsea, so come on, you bloody Irons. Do it for Bazinga. Or just do it for yourselves, as Noni Madueke scored a hat-trick against Wolves. A very poor shot from Chelsea. We'll take a few more of those, as Somerville in the middle. Could we try and stun the Blues? Jared Bowen, the captain, resorting to long range, as this first half's been nothing. Somerville, though, on a run. He's full krug, he's not fast. So he's going to give it back to Luke Somerville. Oh no, it's not bloody Luke Somerville, it's Christencio. Bowen! What's being given right here? Is this a penalty for the Irons? It's Benoit Badashile. It's a bad tackle on Christencio. I believe we have a spot kick. Oh my days, we do. We do. And it's going to be Nicholas Fulkrug, of course, Ward-Prowse on the bench. And Fulkrug scores! The German giant was playing in the Champions League final not long ago. Now for the Irons and scoring this bloody penalty. Fantastic first half. Don't bloody care how boring it is, but still, this game could be livened up. Let's try and put him on. That's right, Paqueta for Kudus. He's got to prove himself to me. I wanted to start with Kudus just for a bit more agility behind Fulkrug, but he's not shown anything to me as Paqueta. Nice tackle. That's what we want to see, as now Guido Rodriguez. We could get two here against Chelsea. A very poor Chelsea side. Gaia. He's got bloody no one to hit in the middle. Actually led to a move that leads to a West Ham corner. Could we get a second? Is that Paqueta? Yes, it is. What a save. The Brazilian proving why he should have actually started the campaign over Kudus. A good chip over to him. Raheem Sterling doing his defensive duties. But still, we need another goal to try and kill this game off against the Blues. It's Somerville running through. Mikel Antonio in the middle. All he had to do was lunge at the ball, but it's Paqueta winning it back. Lucas Paqueta feeds Somerville. It's Christencio Somerville. 2-0 to the Irons, and I believe we're going to beat Chelsea here. Granted, they are poor, but this is a huge win. Lopetegui responds against a very poor Chelsea side. That is the headline we want, alongside a headline with this man in it. Excellent from our Brazilian, an 8.5 rating and an assist off the bench. Maybe I was wrong on him. As on the topic of Brazilians, West Ham did sign a Brazilian. I think he's called Luis Guilherme, he came from Las Palmas. Unfortunately, not in the game though. There's these two here, but they're not the man we wanted, and he did look a decent player. The 18-year-old not in the game, and instead, our team's still aging. We've got a 31-year-old striker, a 33-year-old striker, and our newest one's bloody 30, so maybe with our remaining money, I think it's about 13 million, we get someone instead of Luis. Of course, a different tricky Brazilian, and Marcos Leonardo of Benfica. Bit pricey, but still a young talent. As you can see, he stretches our budget, so 11 million plus ings. It's cheeky, but still, let's see what Benfica say. No, Ward-Prowse. Well, I'm not swapping JWP. I'll try Naya for Gerd, because he's a player with a high market value who we don't use at all. And they accept it! Amazing news, as welcome to our new number 16 backup striker, Marcos Leonardo. Right, Lucas, welcome back into the office. I want to tell you more about our signing Marcos Leonardo. I've got him because he's Brazilian just like you, and you played well last time out. So go and prove me wrong, and prove you should start. As I have been simming along, didn't want to bore you with all the simulations, the quick ones they are. It's on to a big tester, Manchester City, and Fulkrug does start on match rating over Leonardo, as Bowen cutting inside, our captain going for a sweeper, but saved by their sweeper keeper as Todibo touches the ball down. A good signing, that man, as Fulkrug tries to turn out, not having his luck, and if he doesn't improve, we have Leonardo. Kind of want to use him, but of course we're against Man City. As Bowen through that gap. It is Fulkrug looking left into Jose Gaia, and Somerville is in front of him, and that is a terrible pass. Our left back not doing too good. The worst thing he's actually done is leave room for Erling Haaland. Keeping them out so far though was Bowen. Can we counter on them? Still playing moist football as Wan-Bissaka, ex-United, man at the back post, but we will play it into Paqueta. Can the Brazilian use some flair? It's a good turn into Fulkrug. Wide of the mark still though, and I think you know what that means. He probably might have to come off, but Alvarez to maybe score. What a bloody chance, man, and still we're into the second half now. Leonardo on. Will that help Lucas Paqueta out? Going Brazilian against City. If only we had Savio. He's brilliant, that guy. Still, City haven't threatened us. Not how you'd expect. Anyway, as Paqueta waits for the run of Leonardo. That's a good pass. He's only got Ake to beat right here. Can he get past his man? He's using the force very well to try and get past him, and Paqueta is put through. Linking up just like that. The force that we needed. Paqueta and Leonardo give us the lead against City. Our luck may be in today as Erling Haaland missing big chances, headed away, needs blasting, hit it, Bowen, there is the win. Beating Manchester City and beating Chelsea just before this by nils, clean sheets. Our defense is solid. And in fact, to add to that defense, Thomas Souček, 81 rated. I've changed him because of a Gerd. We won't play Souček in the midfield. He's our backup centre-back now, as yes, we've beaten 2 good teams, but 5 games in so far, and it is 3 wins, 2 losses. We lost against Brighton. We did win in the cup against Hull City to give us another cup game. And yes, it's Man City again. Might just field a weak team, but I'm not weak against Liverpool. And a 2-2 draw against Arne Slot, not bad. Thank you, Jose Gaia. And yes, I am going to play the reserves for this cup game against City. Not feeling confident, even if we did play our main team. And, ooh, beating on penalties. Closer than you actually think. Ward-Prowse missing a penalty. As after that, I did some games through. We lost against Newcastle, but then did beat Leicester City. It's the hot and cold Hammers. That's our nickname this season, but still close to the top 4. Where Aston Villa are. And of course, it's who we play next. Paqueta turning out. We've got Paqueta and Kudus in the team. Think that worked well against City. May as well give it a big try as Kudus has already found a way through. Could he just try and shoot himself? A good save, Emi Martinez. And Paqueta now in the middle. Come on, we've got to pass this fairly quickly. Kudus through the gap onto Jared Bowen. Fulkrug moves away for the shot. Lacking on the quality as now we need another move. Fulkrug here down the line. Aaron Wan-Bissaka to whip the ball in. It's Bowen with the header. And someone please explain to me how we're not winning this game so far, as Fulkrug with a run on here. Jose Gaya into the middle. It's our left back going through right here. Another save from Emi. He is the bloody world's best keeper, as he's proving with how he's kept them in here. As you know what change I'm making at halftime? Marcus Leonardo on the field here against Villa. Oh my days, Louise. He's not even bloody a Villa player anymore. What's he doing hitting free kicks? As, oh no, man down. That's Alvarez. And whilst he's on the deck, Aston Villa score! Rather controversially, it's gotta be said, he's in the play and he's probably distracting Areola, who does very poorly to save that shot. And as you can see, it's a serious one, so Alvarez off for Ward-Prowse, and now we've got to get back in the game. This has turned sour all of a sudden. So come on, let's play some football. As a ball into the box, Douglas Luiz steps away from us. Vignato, tackle by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We've got the ball back here into Kudus. Kudus to fire low. Another save by Emi, who's been unstoppable in this second half, just like Douglas Luiz. Penalty to Villa. There's absolutely no question about that one, and Luiz gets his second, winning the game for Villa. Julian, how do you feel? A 1-0 loss away at Villa Park? Well, I'm kind of outraged, really. I'm keeping it quite on the outside, but not kicking the ball out when a player's injured in the middle of the park and scoring from the move is absolutely tasteless. Screw it, Unai has blood on his hands. That should not go down as a goal. I'll be on the phone to the press and telling them to put the right story out. And immediately after that, straight in the press is Lopetegui speaking on how Emre is classless and his team play dirty tactics. Big story breaking out, as another story breaking out is a broken elbow for Edson, which sees him sidelined for 2 months. I mean, let's hope we can still put results together, as the first game is Everton. I mean, Ward-Prowse straight in the team. It's a game of double-barreled names. Ward-Prowse, Calvert-Lewin, that was a decent point, but that is an absolute hammering at the Bees in a local derby. Losing a local game, as I've simmed a few games after that. We couldn't beat Forest, couldn't beat the Saints, and drew to Palace. But the next game is the big one. You can see we've only got 16 points and Spurs at the new stadium. This is pressure for Julian, as the board representative brings him in saying, Julian, what is happening? Ever since you called out Emre, it's just gone all downhill. Well, you just need to tell the board I've got it all under control. This happens to teams, and we were sure to go through a rut at Christmas. Yeah, but this has gone out of control. We haven't won a game in 4 now. And of course the next game is huge, being the big Tottenham rivalry. Yeah, this is huge, especially away from home, and the points tallies. We almost have half of what Tottenham have. Simply have not been good enough, and Guido Rodriguez on his own in the midfield now still. Mohamed Kudus, and a big call up front right here. Marcus Leonardo, who's going to try and put a ball to Wan-Bissaka. Terrible, but still Ward-Prowse. He's got a lot to prove in the midfield. Just lost to his old team, the Saints, as Jose Gaya. That's very weak. Richarlison through, onto Maddison. No idea how he stayed onside. Still, we will try and counter. It's kind of the tactic we're using at the moment, even though it is tiki-taka, and Jose Gaya going forward. Not having fun at the minute is Gaya, as a free kick for Spurs. It still falls to Maddison somehow. Koke, back on the ball. Look at the bloody passing. Look at the passing from Spurs. It's Richarlison, of course. The bloody human chicken. Bang on the half-hour mark as well as Richarlison. That's a good return pass. Kulusevski plays it back to him. 2-0 as I snap my fingers. What is going on here at West Ham? It's Richarlison pulling us apart like pulled chicken. Absolutely woeful. As now we chase the game, but it springs to mind a game before. It was 2-0 to Tottenham, and then West Ham won 3-2 in the end. Believe Ayew was scoring for fun, but if Richarlison gets another goal here, I'm going to go mental. Not a hat-trick, as Kilman deals with him quietly. For once, as now Paqueta. Can he cut inside? Marcus Leonardo brought them two together to work together. Leonardo to finish it. Saved by the keeper and could unsave Julian's job. As an easy win for the chicken team with a chicken striker just makes the job of Lopetegui a lot more harder.